Okay, we're on question 53 of the Algebra Semester Exam Review. Let's go ahead and get started. This one is by far the beefiest factoring question you would ever encounter, and if it's on there, it's probably only going to be on there like once. Okay, we have a 4x squared plus 62x minus 32. Now the thing you need to look for first of all, notice they're all even numbers. These all have a common factor that you can pull out from the very beginning. Whereas all the other ones, we ended up doing these parenthesis things. This one has a common number that we can pull out of all of them. We know it does because they're all even. Okay, let me give you an example. Let's do the factors of all three of these. Now factors of these are, for 4 we have 1 and 4, and we also have 2 and 2. Okay, for 62 we have 1 and 62. We also have 2 and 31, right? And let's see what else we have. I'm not sure if there's anything else. 62 divided by 3 is not going to work. Oops, sorry. 62 divided by 3, 62 divided by 4, etc., right? 62 divided by 5, etc. It's not going to work. So these are all I have. The last one, 32, we have 1 and 32. We have 2 and 16. 3 is not going to work. 4 and 8 works, right? And that's all we have. Notice they all share one number. They all share 2. So the extra step on this one is that I can pull out a 2 from all three here from the get-go and put that 2 in the very front. That's its own factor. Instead of having this binomial as a factor and this is another, I have 3 factors of this, this, and this are all factors that give me that. All right? Once I pull out the 2, what do I have left here? I have 2, the other factor there, x squared. You know what? Let me rewrite this because I'm not even doing the 2 sets of parentheses yet. So once I pull out the 2, what do I have left on the inside? I have 2x squared. Once I pulled out the 2 from there, the other factor with that was 31. So I have 31x. And when I pulled out 2 out of this one, I had 16, right? So I have minus 16 left. Okay? Once I've done that, this is not even hard anymore. It's basically, well, it's as hard as the last 2, but not any harder. I have this to take care of. I'm turning this into 2 binomial factors, okay? So again, I get my factors of the first one. I have 1 times 2. That's all I can do. I get my factors of the last one. I could do 1 and 16. I could do 2 and 8. 3 won't work. 4 will work with 4. 5, 6, 7, and 8 is already repeated, so I'm done. Okay? So now, let's put it all together. Now, I know I have a negative here. That means I have opposite signs. I can already put that in. Okay? I know the only option here is a 1 and a 2. I'm just going to go ahead and drop them in a certain order and make it work. I have 1x. I have 2x. All right? So now, how do we drop in one of these pairs to get 31 in the middle? Positive 31 in the middle. Okay? Because I can make one of these positive, one of these negative, and I'll always get negative 16. Right? So let's figure out how to get up to 31. All right? Now, that's a big number, so I'm going to look at my biggest number here. Right? 16. Well, 16 times 2 is 32. And if I can take 1 away from it, I get 31. So I think I want the 16 to go with the 2. Right? 16 times 2x is positive 32x. Right? What's the pair that goes over here? Negative 1. 1x and negative 1x give me negative 1x still, right? 32x minus 1x gives me 31x. So this is my answer. And yet again, I'm going to keep reminding you, this is going to be an answer choice on your test. Graph it, graph the original, you'll have the same graph. Okay, that's a sure way to get these right. Let's move on. 54. The area of a rectangular computer screen is 2x squared plus 25x plus 33 square inches. The width of the screen is 2x plus 3 inches. What is the length? We already did the same kind of problem. It was problem 50. The only difference is this one has a coefficient in front of the x squared, but that one didn't. So this is a word problem similar to 51 through 53. All right? So let's go ahead and knock this out. Okay, we know the area of the rectangle, once I multiply length and width, is this. 2x squared plus 25x plus 33. They give us one of the sides. It's 2x plus 3. The missing side is here, right? It's pretty easy. Everything's positive, right? 3 times something has to give me 33. There's only one number. I can do 33 divided by 3 and get 11. 3 times 11 is 33, right? And what goes here? Well, we have to get x squared in our answer, and we already have 2. 2 times what gives me 2? 2 times 1. So I end up with 1x plus 11. All right? So 2x plus 3 times 1x plus 11 should give me that. Now I'm going to remind you of the check way again, the way to check it in your calculator. Let's graph both. Let's graph this, okay? And let's graph what we think the answer is, which they gave us half the answer. We're going to multiply it by what we think is the other half, and let's see if we get the same graph. So I'm going to go to my graph. I'm going to type in 2x plus 2x squared plus 25x plus 33, right here. 2x squared plus 25x plus 33. Ready? Okay. I'm going to zoom out because it's kind of, you can't really see much, right? So let's zoom out. Okay, now we can see it plenty good, right? I'm going to hit tab. I'm going to type in what I think is my answer based on what I did. Uh-oh, I hit tab, but it's doing something weird. There. Okay. Now I'm going to type in 2x plus 3 as a factor. 2x plus 3. And now I'm going to do this. This part is what they gave me, the 2x plus 3. But now I'm going to type times 1x plus 11. 1x plus 11. You don't have to write the 1. It's invisible, but you can write it. It doesn't matter. I got the same graph. I know for a fact that it's right. Okay? That's how you do those. So that's the answer. Okay, 55 through 58 solved by factoring some more. Okay? So this is not factoring anymore. We were factoring, but now we're going to solve. When you solve, you get the factors, but then you set each factor to 0, and then you get the solutions. Okay? I'll be honest with you. We did this for the EOC, and you don't have to solve by factoring. Okay? They just want you to solve it. So I'm going to remind you how to solve these in the calculator. Okay? What are the solutions to a parabola? They are right here. They're called solutions, they're called zeros, they're called x-intercepts, they're called roots. So I don't care that it says solve by factoring. The key is to solve it. Okay? So let's solve it. I'm going to go and I'm going to dock B and I'm going to start over here. Now, you could solve it by factoring by doing the factoring stuff we just did, set each one to 0, and then you have the solutions. But I'm going to show you, just remind you of what you can do in the calculator. This fx is my 0. Okay? Why is 0 when you're talking about a solution? Okay? So I'm going to type in this on the other side. X squared plus 4x minus 12. Ready? X squared plus 4x minus 12. Okay? I get my parabola. Oh, look, I just solved it. I can see it on the screen. It's here and here. Positive 2 and negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's it. If you want to double check, go to your table. Make sure you have a y value of 0 whenever you see the positive 2. There it is. So I know one of my solutions is 2. Now I'm going to go to the negative 6. There's my other 0. So I just solved it. I didn't do it by factoring, I did it by calculator, but that is fair game. All right? Let's solve this one, except we're not ready to solve. We need it set to 0. Because when you're talking about a solution to a parabola, the y value is always 0. So I need to move this guy over to the other side of the equal sign. Opposite math, plus 3 on both sides. My new equation is 3x squared plus 10x plus 3, because we moved over and changed signs, equals 0. All right? So let's doc B, type this guy in. 3x squared plus 10x plus 3. Ready? 3x squared plus 10x plus 3. Okay, this one's not as easy to solve, so I'm going to show you the other ways in the calculator. Now, I think we have one of them. It looks like that one's right on -3. This one, though, is not going to be on the table because he's not on a whole number. He's right between two whole numbers, right? So I'm going to go to the table to see if the -3 is right. At -3, yes, I see a 0 here, right? So we know one of the solutions is -3. How do we find the other one? It's very easy in the calculator. I'm going to get rid of my table, and I'm going to analyze the graph. Ready? Menu. I'm going to analyze the graph. That's one way. There's some other ways, but here's one. I'm going to find the 0. That's another way of saying solution. I get my little line. I can move around with my mouse there. I'm going to just go to one side, get over here in the white space, and click my middle button, set it, drag across. I just found the other one. It's -0.333. That's a 0.3 repeating. You should know by now that's -1/3. Okay? Those are my solutions. All right. Let's see if we have time to do another one before we run out of time for this video. 2x squared equals 10x minus 8. Again, I got to get everything over to the other side. I'm going to keep the x squared on this side. I'm going to move both over here. Okay? So I'm going to have 2x squared. Opposite math, when I move that over, is going to be minus 10x. And opposite math, when I move him over, is going to be plus 8. So all I have left on the other side is 0. So I go to my doc B, get rid of that old stuff. Go to my graph. I'm going to type in 2x squared minus 10x plus 8. Ready? 2x squared. I have glare. Sorry about that, guys. Let's see if we can get rid of that. There, that's better. Oh, it's from the light. Sorry, I can't get rid of that. I'll try to just hold it at an angle. 2x squared minus 10x plus 8. There's my graph. It looks to me like I'm looking at +1 and +4. I go to the table to verify. Look, 1, 0, that's a solution. 4, 0, that's a solution. Okay, so my solutions are 1 and 4. Remember, when you write solutions, you don't put this in parentheses. This is not an ordered pair. These are both x values. X equals 1, x equals 4. Okay, last one. I'm going to try to do it on this video. X squared equals 36. Well, I want to get 0 on one side, so I'm going to write x squared minus 36 equals 0. Okay, so I go to my graph and I put x squared minus 36. Look at that. There they are. It looks like one of them is 2, 4, 6 to the right, and that one's 6 to the left. -6, +6. There's my -6, 0, so -6 is an answer. There's my +6, 0. So my solutions are -6, +6. I'll see you on the next video.